Hello. Whew. I am very tired, but we're gonna stream for probably an hour today. Um, you just saw where we left off yesterday, and I have done a couple things to this since then. Um, Not a whole lot, but a few things. So, for example, I went through and I did change some balance between some instruments um, to make it a little more easy to actually hear things. I added some octave things, although I do need to fix this. Oopsies. Let's see, what else did I do here? Before I get too far, I also need to do this. There was something else that I went back through and changed. I don't remember what it was though. I need to move this way a little bit so that I can actually see it. So I this morning taught a beginning band camp. So like incoming 6th graders about to learn an instrument. They had their first day of that this morning, and then I taught a beginning choir camp this afternoon. And I just got home at 6 o'clock, and I had a snack, but I still have to make dinner after this stream, so that's why it's not going to be that long. How's the audio quality? YouTube's giving me like a little warning. Well, there was someone else here. I'm gonna look at my settings really quick here. Doesn't look like anything is... It's saying that it has a bitrate of 0 for my audio. Can't see anything that would be... Weird. Let's see. Well, hopefully the audio is working. Type it in the chat just in case. Oop, that was a chunk of ice. So, like I try to start every stream, I start with what we've got so far, because we now have about 3 minutes of a show done, which is almost halfway through, actually. Surprisingly. I'm gonna make a post that I'm live here. I have to weirdly use YouTube's live stream like studio with my Streamlabs right now, because like the chat's just not popping up in Streamlabs. So I'm guessing that YouTube had an update. Oh, this is what I want. Share. Uh-oh. It froze. Of course it would freeze. Why wouldn't it freeze? There we go. So I'll be live from or until around 7:30 Mountain or 9:30 Eastern. kind of stalling for a little bit to see if there's someone else viewing here. Well, there was someone viewing, I guess. This is probably the most, if you're watching the VOD after this, I'm so sorry. Okay, I have shared it now. So let us go ahead and do some stuff then. As I sip my cold beverage. Okay, so I have all of this chord stuff, and I'm gonna go ahead and tie some of these that weren't tied before. Actually, oh, they're both whole notes, so we can do that. So now we should have this kind of smooth transition here. So I'm going to go to 17 and play it back. Cool. Yeah, okay, I'm not muted. Panicked for a second. So that's there. Scrolling through and just kind of finding some little things. Okay, I'm gonna go into at a concert pitch so that I can see the transposed in case I did something stupid octave-wise. So far, not bad. I do have a lot of doubling of the third because it's in the melody here. So it'll just mean they don't have to work very hard. And then we've got this section here. Which I think balance is fine. We added this timpani thing. I don't remember if we did this on stream or not. I think most of what I did off camera was balancing so we could kind of hear the parts. I'm gonna go ahead and make this the same as it is later. Sorry, trying to think. Oh, I just looked at my own delay and got really confused. Wow. Normally I have Streamlabs open, which is real time, but because I'm looking at the YouTube one, it's delayed. So I'm gonna change this here. So it's closer to this, but other than that, because it's two different lines, it's not going to be same after that. Let's see. So then we have all of this thing, and we're going to crescendo there, and then we're going to go into our impact, which... So I have this crescendo going to fortissimo here. I think I'm going to do a reminder dynamic here at the beginning, just to be more clear. I mean, there's only 2 bars here that separate it, but it doesn't hurt. And excuse me, whenever I go to clean up the parts, I probably will also need to clean up some of these trill markings because they're kind of high. And now covered. There we go. Fix that. And then we've got this. And I think what I'm going to do is, in Finale, I'm going to put this Fortissimo because sometimes it will do a different dynamic after a rest. And so I'm going to put that dynamic just in case. And there's ways to get around that with changing your dynamic settings, but unfortunately, because of the way that I want this to sound articulation-wise, and what lines I want to come out, I kind of stuck with one of the settings that will sometimes let that happen, especially with it being a unison rhythm. I was having some trouble with that. So now we have this section too, and I did balance out so this could be heard, yet it's not overpowering. So that's where we're going to start. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually pick up here at 68 and listen to this section to get an idea of where I'm going to go next. Right now, what we're doing is we need to end this movement, essentially. Do I want so many people on this concert B natural here? I'm going to take alto sax off of it and actually give them that. One, because then it just lines up, and two, I don't need a double second trumpet on that note because first trumpet's already playing it. And it's doubled in the trombone, and I mean the clarinet's playing it. In this context, it's probably not going to be as present. It might add a color depending on how many clarinets you have. But now I got distracted. 78. Cool. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to crescendo this chord to percussion break, and then probably bring it back the style of the impact that happened right before this soft section. Kind of like almost as if this soft section just interrupted that impact, which kind of it did. And kind of didn't, because I also made a very finite ending to that impact. In case you're not sure what I'm talking about, that's this section right here. So I have this impact point that goes on, and then I have this rest, which will be percussion that has then this very almost end of movement like impact. So if I were to take this section, I don't know how well it's coming through on the screen since I'm on the wrong thing. I guess I could highlight it. So like, depending on how I were to expand this section, I could have made it very well at the end of the movement. However, we're going to add this kind of slow theme that way we can take it later on to use and recap. If I was working with a director, likely what I would really want to do at this point is focus on what kind of story they're looking to tell, so I could then use it as a leitmotif. So it maybe represents something that's happening in the show. So you'd coordinate that with your designer and your drill designer and stuff like that. But because I'm just writing this as a stock kind of show on my website, we're just going to kind of use it as a theme that we'll come back to, that could be worked with. In my head, I mean, I have ideas, and on stream the other day, which I keep forgetting to open this before I start streaming, but we've talked about this. We talked about the story a little bit, but this has been a great resource to just keep coming back to, because this would be what I would have with a director. And actually, the one we did about this Fountain of Youth show is a lot closer to then what I would want to be working through with the director, because it has a much more thematic focus. So, yeah, kind of warm with all the lights here. Speaking of, okay, good. I didn't accidentally turn on lights I didn't want to turn on. Okay. So, how do I want to do this? I definitely want to keep this or whatever. That's close enough for now. I kind of want to keep that as this secondary melodic material, because we do reference this quite a bit back here. We're starting to get to the point where the document gets really slow. Well, for one, this is just this first beat, and like this beat here kind of just done repetitively. Well, I thought I had it back here. Maybe I don't. Where did I reference it? Because it came from somewhere. Maybe just imagined it. Well, we're going to use it again anyway, so there's the first case. Now we're going to have the second case. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lift this straight off of this, copy it, and then we're going to do some kind of other stuff with it. So we're going to probably take some of it and move it into other instruments. I'm going to put it back in the mellophone where it was before. And then kind of use it that way. Oop, I uncentered myself here by accident. Okay. Trying to not let my legs fall asleep here. So we're going to take this and put it in the trumpet. And what we're going to do is I'm going to build chords off of it, I think. So I'm going to go to concert pitch so I'm not confusing myself by going back and forth. Like I was earlier in the last couple streams, even though I'm very capable of reading things in transpose. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in second trumpet, not first trumpet. Let's try this. Nope. Went 3, 4. And then let's go. Let's try that. No. It's just it's not the sound that I have in my head. And we're gonna crescendo back, or not crescendo, but run up to this again. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Da 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 da. I'm gonna go ahead. Excuse me, and copy the trumpet part rather than the horn part here, just because of the rhythm. Kind of doubling the mellow in third trumpet right now. Let's see. So that would be D, E, F, G, B flat. Okay, that's not awful. we're gonna take the top one here. I'm gonna jump this up an octave. And then take the da-da-da-dum. That'll work. Let's do that. Double there, double there. So this is pretty much picking up where we left off in the show we were working on. That's about where we're at right now. I'm gonna go to 87 here. Kind of taking this counter melody that we used in the impact point earlier, and using it as the main melodic material this time. So that's what we're doing here. So this, in case you don't remember, came from this impact right here at 59 in the horn and saxes. And then we went into this ballady theme that we kind of ended on last time. I did change some of the balance in audio, so hopefully that's better than it was. I'm gonna turn myself up here. And so now we're at this impact. So that's where we're at right now. So now to decide here what I'm gonna do. I may actually put this melody in the tuba and build off that, which means I'm gonna put it in baritone up an octave. What'll likely happen here is that I'm gonna need to do the trombone. I'm gonna put here. So they're not trying to do these slurred passages. It'll make it a little cleaner. Um, 87. Let's hear what that sounds like. Ba-dum. So I think I'm gonna forte piano this. do a whole note in here. We're gonna put an F, and then we're gonna go B flat down an octave. So we get this kind of sound. But we're gonna make it a little more hidden. And then I'll crescendo the brass on the last beat here, so it's not getting in the way. And then we'll have them come up again for their 16th note passage on da 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 da. I'm gonna fill in some slurs here that I missed when I redid the trumpet part. I'm gonna do my best to like talk more through what I'm doing, because I know last stream I was very silent through some of it, and that's not really helpful. So that's the goal here. Again, we'll probably just have tenor playing with mellow this whole time. So let's see what that did to our impact here. I don't know if I like the B flat chord for this. Let's go to the F minor chord. And try that, because that would be the chord we normally would go to in this measure in the chord progression that we've kind of been sticking to pretty well. So, ooh, I could do this actually. Then change chord here, and then go to the B flat. That could work. Let's try that. That's the chords I want, but I don't know if I like the way I'm getting back to this B flat. I think that will work, just because I am doubling the in a higher register, so it's not going to be as easily covered up. And then I'm going to write another. I don't want them to get to fortissimo yet because of the trumpets doing their little crescendo. So let's try this. So we'll bring them just to forte here, and then we'll bring them back to fortissimo in this measure. That works a little better. We'll work with that for a little bit here. And then we got to go back to the fortissimo. I don't think I actually want them the octave the whole time, but let's do it. Let's do it. So then I'm gonna split the clarinets here. Oop, nope, 4/3. Oh. Yikes. Hopefully peanut butter was worth it. Oof. That is not fun. I have to look farther over today because I had to move my chat on the other side just because my computer was being dumb. So I'm looking really far away, it seems. That's why. Huh. I just noticed that I did E flats the whole way there. My computer's just lagging a little bit today. Good thing I don't plan on streaming that long. Alright, I'm gonna get a listen to this now that I've added in the other instruments kind of more in the octave that they're gonna be. And let's go back a couple bars. Oh, I just realized that I never gave a starting dynamic for this. Let's try that again. Right now I'm doing a lot of just copying lines because obviously in an impact point we don't want too many different things happening at the same time because it will start to make it muddy and it'll lose a lot of the potential impact because you're spreading yourself thin. I know I've got these instruments split up into parts here, especially the clarinet, but a lot of this is less about the fact that they're splitting notes, but they're playing rhythmically the same thing, and those notes are all doubled in other instruments. So I'm still getting the same amount of like people on each note. In fact, I'm getting a better spread Woodwind-wise on each note in this measure. So I may actually do this here too, which means I do need to replace that. And it also makes it so that your first clarinets are playing a little higher and your second clarinets don't have to worry about being too overwhelmed. And then we'll put that there. Actually, we're going to put that there. And I think we're going to put this in clarinet for now, but I'm going to take this, and just to make this quick, I'm going to right click, move copy layers, and then I'm going to move layer 3 into layer 2, and that should get rid of the red notes I've got there from layer 2. And then I'm going to take the bottom notes here away so that I do have someone doubling second trumpet. And then I'm going to do the chord in the trombone one. There's my mouse. I couldn't find it for a second. So I've got... And I just realized that this trombone player actually needs to be going to an F on this last beat. So then I think I've got an A flat going to a B flat chord here. So how am I going to spread this out? I may keep all, I don't want to keep all the trombones on that line, do I? Maybe I'll split them for the chord at the end of it. And then, excuse me, have a baseline note. Ugh. I wonder what this inversion would be like. That makes a lot more sense. And then I think instead of doing that in the bass line, I'm going to go with our C here, and then go here. Keep the trombone still on its line from before. The upper woodwind's still on the same one they were on before. Bum bum. Bum bum. So I'm gonna see if that octave leap sounds a little weird. That's yeah. Because I really kind of want the tuba to be down there for that moment. Didn't sound weird at all, although I think I might want to do this instead of that. Bum 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 bum. Oh, no. No shift key, that'll make it go to the direction I want. Let's try that. So I'm going to copy this and put it here. However, I'm going to drop the tuba to be down there the whole time. I'm going to drop this to be down here. I'm going to get rid of these because it'll just look like ties instead of slurs. And we're going to lower this trombone part a little bit. Which I had wanted to put them, like, avoid moving the trombones, but I think one time will, right before the ends is not going to be too bad here. And then we're going to move this one down to the C. I'm going to double it. Oh, I wonder what this would be like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the second trombone on the second layer here so I can have the first trombone have a different rhythm. And I'm going to do a double suspension here. So one's going to go down, and then one's going to go up. And I think I'm going to copy that into the trumpet part, or the second trumpet part. And we'll see what this does. 87. I do not need to double that if I already put it in the trombone, so I'm actually going to just do this, except a different inversion. Because that's plenty of people playing that note. Alright, I'm going to go back to the beginning of the soft section, which starts at 70. We'll start at 77, even though it's not the beginning of the section. Now I'm going to nab that impact measure, but I'm going to do it a couple times here. So this one. Which means I do have to add measures. Bop, 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 bop. I think that's what I'll do. More leftover artifacts from the template. Start in 93 here. And actually, I'm not gonna make that one just an accent. It's a Q. Yes, I'm gonna make it an accent with tune marking. Make sure that note is long and full. We don't want it to get clipped too short because it is kind of the end of the movement, right? So. And that puts us at 3 minutes and 6 seconds, which is, scrolling up, about 6 seconds over, and that's perfectly fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and listen to the entire first movement, which starts on measure 20. Ooh. I don't remember. 24. I was close. I still don't know why the dynamic change happens there, but... Cool. So I was only going to stream an hour today, which I know that there wasn't a whole lot of viewing happening for some of the time, but I am exhausted. So I'm going to stream again at the same time on Wednesday. And so I will go ahead and schedule that stream immediately after instead of waiting like I did a little bit last time. So, yeah, no, I'm actually really excited. I'm gonna do what I usually do and start from the beginning and play through it. And then get to work setting up for the next stream, which I've finally got the whole like YouTube streaming thing figured out. I just need to wait for my encoder to update so it shows my chat correctly on the encoder, so I don't have to have a YouTube Studio open. So, all right, I'm gonna switch over to the no cam for this and no mic. So, peace.